Hello, SpeedGaming viewers. Welcome. We have more Link to the Past for you here tonight. We are looking specifically tonight at the hybrid major glitches qualifier number 4. I believe this is, yes, qualifier number 4. We've got all of our racers are just now running the racers. We're getting things underway momentarily. I'm Adler, and the booth with me tonight is Toysto. How are you doing tonight?
Doing just fine. All right, we have all of our racers ready to go, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road.
So we have Chexhuman and Malmo, both very well established runners in the glitch community. So just with these two alone on the restream, we're going to have a very good execution of what's a lot of interesting glitches you're going to get to see.
Mm-hmm. And Malmo's actually the one that pioneered the idea behind the hybrid major glitches just in general. Because honestly, she was kind of annoyed at where all the Moon Pearl locations could possibly be. So, yeah, it winds up getting really awkward with the regular major glitches logic, just all the different places that it can be. So, this hybrid major glitches is a compromise between allowing stuff to be used in the underworld that is normally banned in most racing, but not too much, because we want to keep things interesting. Largely, we're going to see a lot of overworld glitches, and our runners do start with the boots automatically, because a lot of the clipping that we do on the overworld is just much easier to do when you have boots.
We got a quick map check there from Malmo's side. I saw looks like a green pendant here, a pendant Eastern, and a Crystal Desert. So 2 pendant Light World. And
we've got a medallion on the Hylia Island. Malmo is going to go ahead and grab that by doing a... How are you going to do this, Malmo? Going to reset the screen is how we're going to do it. Chex, meanwhile, I think, is just going to check Lumberjack up here. Found a silver arrow in the... or a single arrow in the bonk rocks next to the sanctuary. Looks like instead we're getting
the fast hobo.
Mm-hmm.
5 rupees on bush crabs, nothing too exciting there. Ooh, a sword on hobo. That's a nice early find.
Yeah, sword helps out a lot with some of the earlier major glitches, because spin speed is very helpful for getting into slopes, which is the large portion of overworld glitches that you can do.
That looked like we had half magic on the lumberjack ledge. That's a bit unfortunate.
Depends what you call that. I mean, it does mean you don't need to kill Aghanim yet.
I mean, true. I mean, you'd like to see half magic at some point just so you can have it, but yeah. Chex is working on getting kills for, looks like probably his next tier tree pull.
Was able to get a full magic drop. Getting your first bout of magic is usually kind of awkward in Randomizer, and it's usually pretty helpful when you can get that early on from enemies.
Yeah, there's not so many places you can get a lot of magic in the light world. There's the 2 pots at Uncle, there are 3 pots in Desert, but outside of that, it's kind of like, where else are you going to get it? You're going to go to a potion shop and spend for a green potion? Probably not.
Yeah, a lot of times some people just wind up getting their first magic refill just by beating a boss.
Yeah. All right, so with overworld glitches here, we've got a lot of options for our opening routes. It looks like Chex is doing the possible graveyard rush here. So he's gotten the bonk rocks, the Lost Woods checks, and then he's going to head straight up the mountain with the what we call the new DMA. It's a very quick, efficient way of getting on the mountain, and it is entirely logical. Because even though we're going through a dark room, there are other ways to get on the mountain that are in logic. So this just happens to be like a very quick one.
Correct. One that actually would get you up Death Mountain without a whole bunch of weirdness would be the Lumberjack DMA, which can be helpful, but isn't typically used by a lot of people unless it's a part of their route, like they're just checking Ether Tablet or after doing like Lumberjack Cave or something. It's situational, but is still very helpful.
We get our magic powder from Old Man. Nice item to have early.
Uh-huh. And Chex is going straight into Hera immediately. A lot of people do like doing Death Mountain earlier because you have a better chance of finding bombs before needing a whole bunch of them in Kakariko. And Kakariko has a bunch of little side quests. So some people decide to put it off until later when they are able to fully clear it in just one trip.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to see an opener called the Graveyard Rush, where you get on the mountain, do all these kind of early checks that you can get without having any weaponry or something, and then you'll get yourself down onto Graveyard Ledge, just drop in and get free bombs right here. And then that sets you up with bombs for Kakariko, so you can get the checks in Blind's Hideout and the Whale and Chicken Hut without having to worry at all. Chexhuman willingly skipping that armor. He's confident. He may also be thinking about keeping his death warps easier to do, should those become needed in the early to mid game.
Now, additionally, because of how Chexhuman went off the mountain, we get a free Houlihan just by falling in a hole immediately after. So it's a nice early way to get a bunch of money and pops you right back out at Link's house. So can chain together some things.
Transitioning like we do coming into Graveledge messes up the camera enough that you can just Houlihan. There's a way to fix it, but usually runners will opt to take advantage of that and get some free money, because that also helps with routing in Kakariko and making sure you can do everything and buy bombs if you need to.
As well as that pesky vendor that wants 100 rupees for whatever he has.
Well, Malmo with her early sword is basically going to treat this like an assured sword OWG and head straight into Tower of Hera and just start cleaning up.
Yeah, and was able to find the big key early on in the dungeon, which means that this dungeon was available from the start. We don't need to do any clipping from Meyer, which is relevant, but not in this seed.
Meanwhile, Chex has taken a quick look at Cave 45 and found our book hiding out. That's an interesting item to find early.
Yeah, it's a little weird to determine whether or not you want to actually go out and search out the tablets before you get the requisite swords. It's always a weird judgment call to make.
Yeah, I think it's convenient to see early. You can easily work in just a raid of the Bombos tablet with your desert route, and then Chex already went up the mountain for the Graveyard Rush, but no doubt we'll be on the mountain at some point in the near future. A lot of OWG is getting on and off the mountain repeatedly in different ways.
Actually, Hera is kind of a nexus for all glitch modes. It's just centrally located in so many different ways within the game that we wind up in and out of there a lot.
Yeah, one of the underworld clips we'll most likely see starts from Hera to start transitioning between different dungeons. So look forward to that. So Malmo's cleaned up. Hera already got her green pendant. She's going to do the same route down to Graveyard Ledge. And Chex is working on Kakariko. Ooh, there's our Moon Pearl in Tavern. Well, no tricky Moon Pearl today. I bet Malmo might actually be displeased about that. She likes her tricky Moon Pearls.
Well, if that's the case, why did she make up hybrid major glitches? Oh, well.
I mean, yeah. Moderately tricky, not ridiculous Moon Pearls.
Yeah. So, even though there are certain glitches allowed that can put Moon Pearl in very weird locations, things like overworld fake flutes, they are not required for this. So we will be able to find the Moon Pearl anywhere that we normally could with just the normal overworld glitches logic. Except maybe a couple of other... I'm trying to think if there's any other couple of places that it could be. Maybe Pod. I think that's the only other outstanding one. We do find a bottle inside the in the well here. It's nice to find that in town.
Yeah, extremely convenient to have a bottle in her. 2 bottles even, but 2 free red potions. Okay.
At least they don't have fairies. It's always a bit of a bother when you try to death warp somewhere and realize, oh wait, I forgot I had a fairy.
You do it again and forget a second fairy, and then everything's terrible. Almost checking out the back of Saw's closet here while Chex is heading into Blind's Hideout. Good item density on either side here. Malmo finds... Ooh, there's a hook shot. Chex has got a whole lot of money and a heart. More hearts. Not a whole lot here.
Yeah, that hook shot that Malmo found will become relevant as we go into the Dark World. There's not too much you can really do with it in the Light World, but Dark World is where it really starts to shine.
It's a really nice convenience item for OWG too, because it's for a lot of people call it more consistent for arming hook speed or spin speed than trying to do actual spin speed input, because you're just pushing button on the same frame as opposed to one frame and then another button on the next frame. So I like hookshot. It's good.
It is good, and it's especially helpful when you don't have a bow or boomerang, because it's then the first item in your inventory, and you don't have to switch back and forth between it as you save and quit between different areas.
Chex is looking for a bomb here. Doesn't get lucky on the coin flip. Looks like he's going to just do a little teleport here to go down towards the race game. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's going to buy bombs. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And here we see a nice quick little hook speed out of Malmo to get down the mountain a little bit quicker over to Paradox Cave. You can do that with the spin speed, but it's just so much faster when you have hookshot.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for a sword spin to charge up, and you just push hook and dash in the same frame, and you're good. Yep, Chex showing off a little teleport. You can hop up onto this ledge, and we see a shield on race game, so we're most likely dodging that. And nice input to get himself up on this top of the mountain here, and now we're in desert.
Malmo did find
flute.
And Malmo found the mushroom in Paradox Cave here, so there's some side questing that we can do here in a bit.
That's actually really convenient, because like you can just route Dora DMA, just go down to mushroom like no problem here. It's actually nicely convenient.
Zora DMA is a little bit out of the way. I do expect for Malmo to kind of finish up the mountain here and then maybe clip down to the potion shop from there.
Yeah, potentially.
So we have Chexhuman going through Desert Palace, finds the early big key on the torch, makes the dungeon pretty simple here. No weapon, no fire means that he's likely not finishing this dungeon on this trip.
I think Dead Rocks where Melmo wants to be for this clip here. Yeah, she's going to powder it. You can powder Dead Rocks, by the way.
You can also quake them.
So Potion Shop DMA, nice little funny auto walk thing. This is exactly what we call them when you hop down and you auto walk to a certain place, and we'll get our mushroom check right away.
Yeah, it really is called Funny Auto Walk thing, coined by Super Scudge, and years later, when he found out that we were still calling it that, was amazed.
And that leads to flippers. Interesting items coming out here.
Flippers don't logically lock much within this mode, but they are still super nice to have, especially before we get into Swamp Palace and all the fun that it can be.
Yeah, what am I trying to say? Fake flippers, water walking, those are entirely in logic in OWG, so flippers are pretty much never logically required, at least for getting like all your standard flippers checks. But yeah, you definitely still want them, especially in OWG where there's still no way, just basic OWG where there's still no way to get around needing flippers for Swamp.
There is a way around it for hybrid major glitches and major glitches, but it's extremely time-consuming to pull off, so most people don't go for it. Unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah, it's an option. Chex reads our Bombos tablet. I think we saw another bottle there, so that's 3 we've seen already.
Alright, so we're done with the desert area for now. We still have Checkerboard Cave over there for later. No sign of glove. We do find a fire rod, though. There's our first fire source in the mini Moldorm Cave. And a bow.
And Malmo will go ahead and take a run over to Ice Rod Cave. Not uncommon when you have in OWG, because again, you always start with boots, so it's pretty convenient to just make this run. I know Malmo also is a fan of doing just the teleport into the cave here. Let's see if she does it.
It's a nice way to save a bomb. It's a nice way to save a bomb, but it's not always necessary, nor is it always fast. It also depends if you want to do anything afterward. Because there are a couple of clips you can do from that area to get up to Eastern, and we found our 4th bottle in Ice Rod Cave.
Bottle.
Okay, so yeah,
the first one Malmo's seen, but of course that's the last one we've actually seen. We know where all 4 is. Conveniently preloaded with blue. I would not be surprised if we end up seeing that being used for a fake loot sometime in the near future.
Yeah, it's not required for anything logically, but can be a good way of getting around certain areas, especially in the Dark World, since it works everywhere.
She's a little short on money for Zora here, or maybe we can get lucky and get some out of Waterfall here.
Not enough.
Need a little more than that. Maybe we get bailed out by a 50 on the ledge.
Well, even if it's on the ledge, you'd have to do a complete circuit around the Zora area in order to obtain it. All because we have those flippers. We can't actually water walk on the deep water to here, so it's a little inconvenient.
Yeah, you like seeing flippers because they help out, but also you kind of, in a way, you don't like seeing them because they will ruin your ability to water walk.
Ooh, I think Chex just had a high altitude bomb there. So there's a particular frame when the bomb hits the floor that it actually has an altitude of 255, which winds up not damaging enemies. So, kind of sucks when that happens.
I think with bombs it displaces the explosion just like it does with the fire rod, doesn't it?
Exactly, yes. Just
So
like with Spooky.
The explosion gets shifted off way to the north, basically, and then it just doesn't even have a chance of hitting it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But now Chex finally has a weapon other than bombs. Has not been up to Paradox Cave to get that hook shot. Actually, no. Is it up there? I forget where it was now. No, it was back of Closet. That's right. It was in Saha's closet.
And also still has yet to find his sword on Hobo, but I can't imagine he'll leave that hanging for too long here. Hobo is a Sphere 1 check after all. You kind of don't want to leave Sphere 1 hanging if you can help it. And plus, Hobo's a pretty easy check right from house.
Meanwhile, Malmo's going through the Kakariko clearing. Has a lot of stuff to get this all cleared out. Does she have everything? Does not have the flute to activate it yet, but we know that's over on the desert ledge.
Yeah, she'll come across that naturally. Chex is going to go ahead and do a lot of water walking here. Not having flippers means he won't be interrupted by the shallow water. Spots that Quake medallion on the island, so they know where that is in case they need to pick it up later. Not that I necessarily think we need it, because I know there are some ways to get into Mire, and it's very rare to need the medallion for Turtle Rock access. We have ways to get in every entrance of TR, so it's rare to see the medallion used for the top of TR.
Now, Chex does have enough money to pay off Zora here, so we'll get to see what that item is. Just a full heart container. He doesn't even want it. Wow.
He says no. He's skipping full hearts and armor. This man is very confident in his gameplay.
All right, back up the mountain we go with Chex while Malmo goes for the powderback clip. So Chex will not be able to finish this dungeon due to lacking either a sword or hammer. So Malmo knows that the green pendant wasn't useful, but Chex does not know that. And he also doesn't have great weaponry to deal with those beetles, so he might just peace out of this dungeon right now.
Yeah, he's checking his weaponry and be like, I don't have much to deal with these. He's only got 2 bombs. It's kind of inconvenient to deal with hard hats.
I mean, you can use the pots in there and then just fall and come back up and they'll respawn, but that's a lot of time wasted for that.
Yeah. And our ether tablet is just a heart piece, so our book not really leading to anything necessary.
I always love how the clouds in this game are actually water.
Yes, I love it.
I don't know if that was intentional at all, but it's just so great that it is.
It's great because, clouds, shallow water.
And then you can also justify the Dark World ones being solid because they're full of ash.
Ooh, that was a close brush with that dead rock. Oh, he stopped it. Oh, that was rude. Stopped in the perfect spot there.
So Malmo is now going through desert, has a sword and the bow and fire rod, so this is likely a full clear here to finish off that crystal.
I forget if we saw both items in desert. I know we saw 10 packet arrows on the right side, but I don't remember if there was a second item in the front.
I do not recall either. We'll just have to pay a bit more attention here on that.
Check's picking up just enough hearts to keep the beeping away, yeah.
Okay, we did see an ether medallion in that lower part of Paradox Cave, so both of our runners should have that at this point. And they do know where that Quake medallion is. There's only one more outstanding in terms of possibly locking Mire. I don't think we've seen what's at the shovel spot yet.
No, I don't think so. I think Malmo has not been down to check that yet.
Looks like Chex is headed straight there. Or not. He's going to do his mushroom first.
May as well. You got that early flute. You can just head straight for it.
And now he will get his flippers.
He's going to do a little teleport that'll get him down into the eastern area here.
This will be his hook shot out of the Saha closet. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to jump into Swamp Pal or Eastern here. He does have the equipment to beat it, but it might not be necessary since it is a blue pendant.
And the shovel check is just a bomb pack. Nothing exciting there. Yeah, we'll have to see if he goes for it, because you do have logic. You can logically clear the dungeon, minus the one check that's on the big key chest. But yeah, you can definitely get all the way to the Armos Knights.
Looks like he's going for it. Nice little abuse of the geometry there to get a long hop down for the Bombos tablet there on Malmo's side.
I love that jump down to the Bombos tablet. It looks cool. It's actually really easy to do. You just get up there and just hold up through the transition, and it just works every time. First item in Eastern is a heart piece. Malmo's probably going to check Ether Tablet while she's up here. Yep. Gets her news that the book is not really useful.
And we might start going into the Dark World here.
Chex finds his first sword on the east chest of Eastern. I think it's the map chest. Or no, that's the compass chest. Map's on the left.
Okay, I saw a red pendant pod and an ice palace for one of the red crystals. Didn't catch the other one. Pod being a pendant is a little bit annoying. It's a great spot that we could access almost immediately. But might not be required in this seed. Instead, we're just going to clear out a bunch of the Dark World overworld here as we go through the next couple of dungeons.
Chex finds the big key in the third check in Eastern. We might get lucky and not have to check anything else in here. And there's our bug now. All three items have been attained. Looks like he's going to opt to take care of the boss.
Gonna try to use the arrows to stick into the Igord, make sure he knows when it's vulnerable. Get that enemy key. While Malmo starts to dip into Skull Woods.
Almost said it's time for the Dark World. We had an early Pearl, and you can very easily get on and off the mountain in OWG. And she's just gonna. She did a very standard death mount descent, and is gonna start in the Dark World.
Got a little bit rocked by the mummies in there, and is deciding to powder the bunny beam under the pot there, and then decides to take a Wall Master out.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting play by Chex, going all the way back for the Armos Knights. I guess he's just kind of taking some insurance in case something does end up being on Ped. And Malmo with Fire Rod, of course, is going to head pretty much straight to the back of Skull Woods. I think we saw a crystal here, I'm assuming. Just going straight
we know where all the pendants are. We know one is Pod, one is Desert, and one is Eastern, and one is Hera.
Right, pendant pod, got it. And of course, in OWG, we're not generally concerned about where the red crystals are. There's only one situation in which we really are, and that's if the mirror is in Pyramid Fairy. Or something else is in Pyramid Fairy and the mirror is really late, or just not existent. But, usually we don't care about the red crystals. Chex now with weaponry is going back up to clean out Hera.
Decided to not go for the Hera pot, even though he already has the hook shot for it. So, and yes, to answer Sasha there, we do not need the mirror to clear out Swamp or Hera as crystals. As we can tell, we've gotten into Hera multiple times without the mirror. And for Swamp, there's some interesting little tech that was discovered, I think, a couple of years ago, where the state that the dam has, whether it's flooded or not, persists through save and quits. And then we also have a way of going from Hera into Swamp just directly. So, it's it's a way of getting into Swamp without the mirror. It takes a little bit of rigmarole to do so, and it can be required. But both of our runners are well aware of that possibility.
Chex has a nice clean fighter sword mold arm fight. And so far, Malmo has found nothing but dungeon items, a map, a big key, and a small key. But she did have a really nice moth fight, actually. Fighter sword moth also can be a real pain of a boss fight, but she had no problem with it.
Yeah, Fire Rod can really help in that regard, especially in negating what the spikes negate. All because the shot tends to linger a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, armed with the green pendant, Chex is going to go ahead and straight turn that in right now, before he forgets about it.
Gets his 3 bombs as a consolation prize, and he is out of there.
Oh, he's going straight into escape now, instead of going toward any of the Dark World. That's interesting.
I'm having a little bit of trouble with the bomb jump to the big chest. Gets it after about the 3rd or 4th try there. Yeah, he's going right for Uncle here. This is definitely an interesting play. Generally, with OWG, we don't see Uncle picked up until, honestly, close to the hour mark, because you generally have a lot to do elsewise, and you try to save any checks in Castle for when you have mirrors. You tend to combo that with Pyramid Fairy into the entirety of Castle. But yeah, he's decided he wants to go for it.
Yeah, a lot of people consider Escape to be the 4th pendant dungeon, except one that's not even necessary for pedestal, so you can definitely recognize the reasoning behind wanting to usually put it off for as late as you can.
Yeah. It does have some good value, though. Oh, we found a glove in the first chest. Well, there you go. Castle does have 6 items in it, so it's a dungeon that can certainly hold a lot of stuff.
We find the blue boomerang in the sea house. Not particularly useful at this stage. I guess it can be helpful in Ganon's tower for a couple of little time saves, but otherwise, not too much.
I guess coming up here is where Chex will, having skipped a lot of the safety defenses he's skipped already, will make this death warp a little more convenient.
Meanwhile, Malmo heads into Thieves Town.
Oh, he's gonna save and quit. Never mind. Okay, color me wrong.
I think he knows that he can grab the Dark Cross chest with a clip from within Hera, so isn't too bothered about hitting that later. And he did pick up the glove from Escape, so he might be just heading straight to the back here.
Yeah, actually, he does have the glove, and he did find the small key, so if he wants to do Dark Cross, he can just do that from the back, true.
We did just find the Ice Rod in Thieves Town, so we do have both rods ready for Trinix. We still need the Cane of Samaria before we can get there, though.
No Ice Rod hunt today. I'm sure any runner who finds that is going to breathe a nice sigh of relief. No matter the logic setting, Ice Rod hunt can always be absolutely terrible.
That being said, a Samaria hunt is also fairly obnoxious. Because it can even wind up within Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are parts of TR we can get into because the middle entrances on the ledge are entirely logical to get to. Chex uses Master Run Hobo there. You could definitely see Samaria end up being in like Lava Chest or Chain Chomps or a Crystal Roller Room. There's some good places it can be in TR. Yeah.
Little bit of an unfortunate hellway for Malmo there in Thieves Town. Gets through it just fine. Alright, Chex cleaning up a couple of loose ends that are still around on the Light World overworld. Gonna go ahead and hit Checkerboard Cave on his way over here.
We haven't seen that yet. That glove does get him some additional checks that he can do.
Or I guess he's going to finish Desert first. Or, no. A little bit of indecision here.
Yeah, you will finish Desert, yes. Malmo opted not to finish Desert while she was here, so this is actually our first look at the back.
Well, I believe we found all the items out of Desert already, so the only thing we'd be getting is the Crystal. And perhaps Malmo is thinking of finishing Desert later with a Mirror after Mire or something.
Potentially, yeah. We have not seen the Thieves small key yet, so we got one more chance that it being self-locked in the big chest. Nope, there it is. So we'll be skipping that big chest, though. I'm not hanging on my item count. I think we've seen all the dungeon items, though. So we might be leaving an item there. Chex gets a map off Lambo for his efforts, so we have indeed seen 2 items out of Desert, and he picks up a crystal.
And as one boss finishes, another begins on Malmo's side with Blind. Nice old scripted fight here. A little bit off script, unfortunately, which makes it a little hairy now for Malmo. Just needs one more hit, and we're good.
Yep, she's okay. Now we get a look at checkerboard. Yep, so there's definitely an item in the big chest, yeah. So with lacking the hammer, we'll have to leave that behind for now. Hopefully nothing important.
Yeah, that's a real awkward one to go back to later on. So now I think Chex is going to start going into the Dark World.
Yeah, I don't think he has really a whole lot left in the light world that's accessible, he's thinking. And yes, portal. He's going to go for East Death Mountain.
We do have that hook shot, so there's 6 items that we can look at immediately just on that side. We get a heart container out of the digging game. Alright, so can she beat the clock? It's always fun to see if you can get out of the digging game area before the timer reaches 0. It's usually a lot easier when the item is early, but sometimes it gets real close. Now, you may notice that the graphics in Mire are not all there. This is because the game hasn't really had time to load the correct rain graphic. That's usually loaded with the wavy transition you get from using Mirror into Mire, but since we kind of bypass that, we get this nice little graphical corruption there. It gets fixed as soon as we exit the to the overworld again.
Yeah, the game isn't exactly happy when we take any other method of getting into the Mire area. Alright, Chick's giving us her look at Hookshot Cave. There's our 10 bomb. And our second bow, nice to have. And that's about all we get. Nice prize, but nothing really necessary.
Alright, so now he's going to go ahead and check Catfish here. Unless he decides to do a map rep to Skull Woods. Nah, he's going to go for Catfish.
Yeah, it's a common way to continue after Dark Mountain. You just do a little DM beat on a Catfish, and we get to have some little messed up palette for a bit. It's not too bad to navigate, though. Ooh, there's our Samaria.
Alright, looks like we are going into Mire on Malmo's side. Sadly, without the Cane of Samaria from Catfish here, so we know we won't find it inside. So this will need to be a second trip for Malmo later on.
Yeah, I don't blame him for going for it, though. You've got the Ether Medallion, and you can access pretty much all of Mire except for the boss. This is... Go ahead, just get your 2 items, hopefully. To answer a question in chat, Chex's game is not necessarily corrupted per se. What happened here is because we took a transition that moved us from the mountain area to somewhere off the mountain without like using a normal method of doing so, the game just doesn't really switch the palette right. So it keeps the some of the mountain palette assets active, and that kind of leads to some of the graphics looking weird.
And we didn't quite get to see it on Chex's side, but if we made it up to the top of the pyramid, you'd see this big lava wall kind of behind the pyramid where the sunset usually is.
I love the lava wall. It's very, very striking here. It's like, oh, this is different. That little swim gets us around needing the hammer to get to the south part of Dark World from the pyramid. And now we get Hype Cave. Is it actually hype, though?
Well, we're really just looking for the hammer, possibly lamp and mirror at this time. There's the lamp.
Well, there's
the hammer. Well, there we go.
Oh, wow. Good job nailing both of those items in Hype Cave. How do we do it sometimes?
At this point, once Chex gets the ice rod out of Thieves Town, he has everything he needs to finish the seed from here. And looks like he's headed into Ice Palace, using a couple of screen wraps here to kind of scroll the screen so he winds up almost right in front of the entrance.
Yep, this is what we call the flipper wrap into ice. This is actually a logical method of entering the dungeon. It gets around needing mitts because by doing this little sequence of movements, it puts you inside, physically inside the wall, and you can just walk in the entrance. There's another way you can get in there that uses the mirror, which is not logical because it is, by definition, more dangerous and just kind of trickier to pull off in general.
I wonder if Chex meant to use that key there or not. Because he does have the Cane of Samaria to do Icebreaker and such. But he does have Hammer of Glove, so that's probably not an issue for him here.
No, this is I mean, by like NMG standards, you can just completely clear this dungeon, no problem. Nice bomb strat to kill the Pen Gator room. Gets a 300 for his efforts. Melmo's only seen one item in Meyer so far, so she's going to head to the cutscene chest. Either that or two items, but no big key yet. Either way, I'm not sure. But I know we've seen one item. No, actually, she's clipping. Don't mind me. All right, so here we go. Here's some fun stuff.
Yeah, this is what HMG is all about, is this little sequence of going Meyer to Hera. We're right now in the fairy room that you normally access by falling down into a pot. And then we're then going to clip directly to Swamp. Now, we do actually need to bring a small key from Meyer. That is what is logically required of the player. So we're doing two different clips here. Actually, Mammal's using the same method of clipping, but we're going between essentially 3 dungeons.
And now we're in Swamp. And that's the reason we need a key right there, because of that door.
Now, while we may be in Swamp, the game still thinks we're in Meyer. So if we were to somehow get to Argus and kill him at this point, we would get the Meyer crystal and not the Swamp crystal.
Yeah, despite having made these transitions and putting ourselves in different dungeons, and the PAL doesn't even fix itself, we are using keys and getting items and stuff in the state of the game still thinking we're in Misery Mire. And that does not fix until that dungeon state does not change until you actually enter the dungeon through its main entrance.
And it looks like Malmo mainly used that as a way of getting over to the Hype Cave area after going through most of Meyer.
And did some of the work on the way opening key doors. Yeah. She'll be rewarded for her efforts, of course. And Chex is just tearing through Ice Palace here. Gets a big 20 in Ice Tea Room.
Alright, so Malmo's already done the west side of the Dark World, now has to check out the east side. It'll be interesting to see if she decides to go into Palace of Darkness or just head straight to Catfish first and grab that Cane of Samaria.
And Chex has found all 3 items in Ice Palace. Didn't come up with anything in terms of needed progression. But here we are. We need the crystal here, and we have the ability to kill the boss, so let's do it.
Oh, looks like instead Malmo's going to head over to the Hammer Pegs cave. Rather than check up by a Catfish. Going to clear out everything that she can over in that west side to just be as sure as possible that it's done, except for Smithy. She can't quite do that one yet.
Not yet, no. There is a way to get to Smiths without mitts, but it's time consuming and entirely not logical. And also pretty tricky to pull off. Sees a 50 rupee in Hammer Peg, so she will save and quit from there. I kind of like that as the end of her route there. Like, just kind of wrap it up at Hammer Pegs and do a save and quit. Ooh, Chex down to 1 heart at Cold Stare. Tense fight, but he's got it.
Is Malmo going into GT now? I think she might be.
Yeah, she has everything she needs to do left side and just missing Samaria for right. Yeah, this looks like a GT clip. Yep.
So at best, she'll be able to find maybe another sword or the mirror here. Unfortunately, there's not going to be anything else that will help her out here.
Yeah, she's there's not a whole lot. I mean, maybe another glove, but yeah, like there's
Yeah,
not
the
going to
other.
be a whole lot.
Yeah, you're right. The other glove is still out there somewhere.
But yeah, we've seen so many of the items already, and she's missing. Like Chex has seen a lot more items than she has at this point. So it's like she doesn't know what she's missing. But I mean, I don't blame her for making the GT play. There's a lot of items in here. You can clear out like a good more than half the dungeon.
And it looks like Chex is following right behind, but armed with the Cane of Samaria. Although, he doesn't have the Ice Rod out of Thieves Town, so he'll probably clear out a lot more of this than Malmo will, since he has that Samaria for the right side.
Yeah, depending on when Chex actually gets to... Oh, there's our mirror. Good call there. Depending on when he actually ends up getting to Thieves Town, this kind of could end up turning into an Ice Rod hunt for him.
Well, provided we can find... Or provided that Malmo can find the big key here, she'll likely finish off the entire dungeon and go straight to the top.
Yeah, GT in overworld glitches is still a 7 in terms of what the game mechanically says here. You need 7 crystals to trigger the cutscene, but we generally don't care about that. We have a method to get in there basically whenever we want, so the crystal count is largely irrelevant.
Right. In fact, logically, it requires the Moon Pearl to enter, and that's all we need. Although we could get in there without it.
There are ways, yes, but I believe the overworld glitches logic will never put Moon Pearl in GT because of logically it wants you to have it. Yeah,
correct.
GT, however, so when you think of like an NMGC, like your average like 7-7, and there's basically nothing ever in GT, and that's because there's a part of the item algorithm called the GT junk fill. Basically, the more crystals that it takes to open the tower, the more junk it gets filled with when the items all get placed. So like heart pieces and bombs and stuff like that. In OWG, that's treated like a 0, so you can actually find a lot of major progression in GT, like we saw Malmo finding the mirror. May not be as major in HMG, but still, a mirror can be a nice kind of a big deal item. It certainly helps with routing.
Yeah, it makes just being able to go back and forth between the worlds when you have access to pretty much the entire thing from the word go makes it a lot easier to sequence things together.
No big key yet. These two runners are basically side by side. Chex having just a little bit of an execution advantage. He's gained a little bit here, but they are both headed down to fight the Ice Armos. We'll see if we maybe get a vanilla big key here. Yep, say hi to Bob real quick.
And say goodbye to Bob on Malmo's side.
Say goodbye to Ice Armos on Chex's side. Having the silvers here, it saves him a good chunk of time.
As well as a good chunk of arrows. Ooh, no big key on the left side. That's a bit unfortunate for Malmo. That means she'll have to come back to GT later to finish off the dungeon and kill Aga 2.
Yep, she is getting locked out, having not have Samaria, so that is all she can do for now. And meanwhile, Chex will be able to continue. He's got the Samaria to go to the right side, and we're 5 checks away from finding that key at most.
Alright, looks like he's going to check the tally room first. Just get the long one out of the way.
I think in OWG this is a little more feasible because you're still looking for, like in his case, an Ice Rod, which can be basically anywhere. So I don't hate this check right now.
Yeah, Malmo will certainly do Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny, though I don't know if I don't think she'll dip into Turtle Rock at this point, which means she could go down to Catfish and get the Cane of Samaria, and then is only missing the glove.
The glove, which is of course needed to, at the very least, fight Cold Stare.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my early kind of gotchas with like learning OWG. I'm just thinking like, there's so many ways you can get around. What do you need a glove for? Cold stare. Like, oh yeah, can't skip stuff inside. That one dungeon that has like a hard lock of a big giant block in the way of a boss.
All right, yeah. Without the glove, Malmo has to do this screen wrap clip to get into Hookshot Cave. Keep in mind that the glove we know about, is in the escape dungeon, which Malmo has not been to yet.
Also, yeah, if you guessed 22 for this one, you're actually right. Chex opting to do tile before Compass Room made it end up being an actual 22. It looks like he's gonna, now having the big key, of course, he's not gonna want to leave that big chest hanging, so he's gonna do another route to the back to get it. And I don't blame him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get screwed over by an ice rod hunt.
Ice rod in the GT big chest would be really gross, to be fair.
Yeah, with that big key placement for sure. Alright, so here's Malmo getting the Canis Maria from Catfish. Oh, doesn't have a glove, has to go up and get the sign. Meanwhile, Chex begins the climb, the ascent of GT.
Malmo's got her Samaria now. Probably displeased about where that popped up, considering she had to exit GT and then find it immediately after.
And now it's going to check Zora and be disappointed yet again. So it's actually kind of a big question for Malmo, since the gloves are only locking Cold Stare for her at this point. They could be in almost anywhere in the entire world. There's only a few places that are truly glove locked at this point for her. Ice Palace, I think, is actually one that is glove locked. I think. I might be wrong on that. I can't remember if we left the. Actually, yeah, the flipper wrap still is. Actually, I don't know. It's. I can never remember exactly how all the logic changes are across various presets and all that. But
Yeah, I know the flipper wrap is still logical, and I don't think that flipper was off a mushroom, and the mushroom was just available somewhere. So I'm pretty sure that's still logical.
Yeah, so the glove could be in Ice Palace, at least according to what Malmo has seen so far. So she could wind up going through a bunch of different dungeons just searching for that other glove.
Yeah, and of course, having two gloves in the pool, like they could be pretty much anywhere. You could put a glove behind a glove, and then just like, well, who knows where they are. And we will. That was a mirror wrap. Yes, that is one of our two good ways to get into Laser Bridge. Both of them are out of logic. Logic does not expect you to clip the Laser Bridge, but we do it anyway because it's Laser Bridge. Has 4 chests on it. Why not?
It's also helpful to clear Turtle Rock in reverse, because you would need the big key going forward, but you don't really need it going backward. So we can check the vast majority of the dungeon, find the big key, then mirror back to the Laser Bridge and be right at the boss.
Yeah, this routing is super efficient, especially if you're in like a go mode state where once you find that big key, you can just warp straight back down to the bottom and go right to Trinex. All right, Chex is through the hardest part of the hard parts of the climb. We're now going to get to the part where we get actual items. We've got a bomb pack and a third sword. Ooh, nice to find. Nobody's going to complain about tempered sword.
And there's our 4th sword in the Crystal Roller room of Turtle Rock.
All right. So Malmo still needs to find, if she wants her sword, she'll have to find that one in the climb. She'll get that one in the climb. We have to climb GT anyway, because it still is a 7-7 defeat Ganon. So we do have to complete Aga 2 to win the game. I forget where the last one was. Was that? Where was that?
I forget where that other sword was.
Yeah, I know we got the hobo sword.
Ah, that's right. It was from Eastern Palace.
Eastern. Yeah, right side E. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So
Yeah.
she.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat, because I can't remember all these items sometimes. Usually. Checks us into the Aga 2 fight. I always like OWG for its like just kind of you just do GT at some point. It's usually never at the end. You kind of just do it whenever it's convenient, whenever you feel like it's a good time to do it. So you just kind of have like an Aga 2 fight at 53 minutes, and we only have 2 crystals. We got a lot more to go still.
Yeah, it's not really the final points of the run.
Check showing up just a little bit there. Just a little bit of casual clipping out of the room. Don't worry about it.
That clip is actually very dangerous, especially if Aga dies on the right side. I mean, the whole point of doing that clip is so that we can possibly shave a little bit of time off of the bat flying around on the screen, but if you're not careful, you can wind up actually transitioning to the right, which puts you in Ice Palace, and actually does not mark Aga 2 as being dead, so you'd have to climb the tower again. I learned that the hard way.
Ooh, that sounds like an awful way to find that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so
make his swim to the Hammerpeg's cave, or Hammerpeg's. It's a cave, sure. You can call it a cave.
Mm-hmm.
I like those swims where you end up like on a corner like that after the transition, because you just kind of hold up left out of that one. He just pops you out magically. And he might show off this new clip that was discovered really recently. Yeah, so you basically clip yourself like 1 pixel into that fence, and then you can just kind of hook through it. And it's just very recently discovered, and it's actually been made race legal for even not overworld glitches. So with the upcoming cross keys tournament, entrance players in particular may end up making good use of that clip. I don't think there's a fancy name for it yet. We're just kind of calling it like Escape from Hammerpegs or something like that. But yeah, we'll see if someone comes up with a cool name for it.
All right, we're up to Trinix with Malmo here. Should be nice and simple. Only 2 swords. We're going to go ahead and hammer the heads here as Chex goes through the mire area.
And Chex, of course, having Samaria, will be able to complete Mire as a dungeon and acquire his next crystal.
So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go ahead and full clear as much of this as he can, because he does still have Thieves Town, which is a crystal and houses the item he's actually looking for. So he might wind up clearing more of this than he would ideally like to.
Yeah, we're still waiting on Chex to get to Thieves Town to put him in go mode. Like we said, the longer he takes to get to Thieves Town, the more he's going to be in like an ice rod hunt state, making a lot of extra checks. And while Malmo had a bit of a tricky, dicey try-next fight, we're a little bit low on magic, but she got through it and got her next crystal.
Yeah, one of those situations where you wouldn't have liked to see half magic on Lumber Ledge.
Yeah, having the half magic basically unavailable is kind of a downer. So you'd like to have it for some of these bosses. It's even a Godmire too. It's just, is he gonna go for it? You gonna do it?
Yeah, he's looking like he wants to. Just getting his hand position right. Doesn't get the first try and abandons.
Says I'll give it 1 shot and move on if I don't get it. You got a few pixels into it. Give him that much. Like Malmo might be heading back. Oh,
no,
thinking
can't.
Maybe not.
No,
nope.
no glove. No glove.
No glove.
Where
That's
could
right.
it be?
I mean, to be fair, I probably would have done that too. Be like, I want to go to the Dark World and go to Swamp. Wait. Still no sign of that second glove even, so they are being very elusive this seed.
Looks like Malmo is going to do that second GT trip right now.
Or maybe a super skydive to swamp if she wants to.
Maybe. Oh yeah, we're or Pyramid Fairy. We might be doing Pyramid Fairy. Nope, we are doing a clip down the swamp. Yep. So this is a real fun clip. We've already wrapped the screen once, but then we hop off a ledge and wrap the screen another 4 times, and then we do that again for a total of 9 times.
Then you transition left and hop down, transition right, and voila, we are in the swamp area.
However, we do actually need to enter swamp to be able to fix our camera. If we don't fix the camera, we run the risk of hard locking the game. So.
But if you're entering swamp through the normal mirror method, you can safely mirror right here and just do it like normal. Where are we dropping? Yep, exactly. All the way to the swamp. That's where we're going.
That was such a fun clip to find.
I love skydive. It's one of the coolest things to show off. Like to people who don't really know WG is like, look what I can do. Get from the mountain all the way down to swamp.
Back in my day, we called it the Death Mountain Super Drop.
I kind of like that, actually. Why have I never heard that before? I like how I think Malmo was expressing a slight bit of like, what the heck, at the swamp small being in the chest.
Yeah, because that's a 1 in 10 chance for this configuration to happen.
So I'm not super familiar with the logic, but as far as I understand, because the logic expects you to do swamp you can clip into it, that key can be basically anywhere in the dungeon, right?
Correct, but if it is anywhere other than that first chest, then you would have to come from Mire. You are never required to do just Hera to swamp alone. You would be required to do Mire, then Hera, then swamp, or that whole series of clips.
And that's because you're taking the keys from Mire to into swamp, right?
Yes, and if you wound up taking the key from Hera down there, you could wind up locking the basement chest that is locked by the tile room, and that could house something really important, so we don't want that to be the access to it. Thankfully, right. Mire has a bunch of extraneous key doors, so we don't actually need all the keys all the time. So you theoretically could soft lock yourself with that, but that requires you opening that stupid rupee room in the basement.
Chex was trying to get alternate Spooky to work for him. Didn't quite get it. Had a little bit of trouble and is out of magic, so he will have to do it the old-fashioned way. But he is on his way back to Victorious with 11.5 hearts, a tempered sword. He'll probably be just fine for this fight. He's got silvers too. This should be quick.
Yeah. Oh.
Nope. I'm sorry, 10.5 hearts. That pit is surprisingly easy to fall into. I don't know what's up with it. He's actually going to go for NMG strats here. I kind of don't blame him. It's faster than silvers. If you're really good at NMG strat, this is just like the way to do it.
I mean, the time for the fight is still gated by when Vitreous pops out of the goo the first time. I think it's 8... if you listen to the fight carefully, you'll hear these little pulses that Vitreous makes, and after the 8th one is when he pops out of the slime for the first time. So as long as you can finish all the small eyeballs before then, it'll take the same amount of time every time.
Yeah. Yeah, very, there are some cycles with Vitreous, yeah. Speaking of boss with the cycles, here comes Arcus. Yeah, as Tam says, Chex has done an NMG run or two in his days. Now I have to remind myself what his NMG time is.
Alright, so now Chex is going to clip from Mire to Hera, and then from Hera to Swamp to start that unlocking process. So he already opened the wall by moving moving it with the torches, and we actually get to use the... So Mire's that room in Mire is very weird because of the moving wall. for some reason, there's some collision differences where if you move the wall, you can do that bomb clip that he just did, but if you don't move the wall, then you can't. It's really weird.
Yeah, I like the implications with that wall. Like, it actually messes with the physics of that one in particular.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the developers of this game expected us to be doing what we're doing to it, but it's still interesting to see a little quirk.
All right, here's Malmo going to go finish off Desert, get that crystal.
She doesn't have a glove, but we don't care. Oh, maybe not.
I think she's just going to mirror right by the entrance, or nope, she's doing something else.
Maybe she's going to clean up Meyer first.
All right, she does have that Cane of Samaria now. Now I'm actually curious, where is that other glove?
Yeah, like it's being really elusive. It's not like we don't have a lot left because like Malmo cleared out TR, Meyer is clean. We've seen everything in ice.
It could be Pod or the Pyramid at this point.
Yeah, we haven't seen Pyramid Fairy yet, which is on the table because again we have the mirror, so Pyramid Fairy can basically be checked at any time.
And then Pod is dense enough that it could be there too.
Yeah, we haven't really seen anything of Pendant Pod yet, so entirely possible it's over there. But I mean, we may not end up seeing Pendant Pod at all, unless Malmo gets glove hunting and decides to go for density.
Yeah, although at that point it's a coin flip between Pod and Escape.
All right,
So,
that's where our first glove was, is Castle. That's right. Yeah, I mean, the densities are similar, yeah.
Although if the densities are that similar, then I assume that she's going to go for Pyramid Fairy first, which would put her right by Escape.
Yeah, because with Pyramid Fairy, you get a little bit more out of the castle area. I mean, Pyramid Fairy and Uncle means you have like 10 items in total if you do all of Castle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is the hour mark, so it's about time to go check Uncle.
All right, so lacking Tempered Sword, Malmo is going to opt for the full Silvers fight here. Ooh, misses one of the eyeballs. But still early enough to hit the first cycle.
Yep, does not cost her a cycle, so she's okay. I don't think I mentioned it, but we do have a number of other players in this qualifier. This one ended up getting 9 in total, so it's a decent little crowd for it.
Yeah, we've had a lot of participation in the qualifiers so far.
And this is our 4th qualifier out of 12, I believe.
I believe that's correct. Yes, we do have 12 slated on the schedule. All right, so now we see Malmo finishing off Desert here with the mirror from Meyer.
Careful, Chex.
It'll be fine. Oh. A little bit of an archery contest here with Argus. The hitbox for Argus is just so weird. Trying to hit it with the arrows is... it can feel impossible at times.
It's actually, I'm surprised you got the upward shot, actually, because sort of like Helmasar's hitbox, once the mask is off, it's like a vertical rectangle. So it's actually easier to hit from the side than it is from top or bottom. But he makes it work.
All right, so we left the left side of Swamp open for now, so I guess he's going to go clear that up real quick before he continues to other dungeons. He does still have... Yeah.
Yeah, he's still ice rod hunting, so it'd be hard for him to leave a lot hanging in terms of checks, because it's ice rod. It can still be anywhere.
Yeah.
Malmo's taking care of the Lambo fight with coming in with silvers, makes it a very easy fight.
Little bit of trouble with that first shot on the worm there, but cleans it up just fine.
She will save and quit, and let's see where she's headed.
Come on, go to the mountain, do the pyramid fairy into escape thing.
She is starting.
That's what we want.
Yeah. She's got the hook shot out. She'll hear a clip here.
This is looking promising.
Goes down for the portal. Yep. I mean, I want to see a pyramid fairy so we can show it off too. Because this is another thing I really love seeing in OWG. It could be a GT climb here, but no, this is definitely a pyramid fairy. Okay, so she's camera wrapped here, which means she's physically down farther on the map than the game thinks she should be. She puts her mirror in a very specific spot, uses the old man cave to fix the camera, which she doesn't have the flute. That's right, she never got flute off Desert Ledge, so she has to do this. Yeah, and then she needs to death warp.
Either that or just clip directly down to the castle, but is opting for the death warp. Did not grab that blue mail. Or no, she did grab it, but she still takes 1 heart from these boulders, so they still deal the same amount of damage.
Just one more. Oh.
Gonna...
What are you up to?
I guess she's doing Houlihan? Remember that's another way of getting down there?
Oh, is she setting up for like a... Oh, what is she doing? It's like she's setting up for a death warp, but she has the mirror. I'm okay. I'm a little bit confused.
I think she was trying to death warp, but then at the last second decided I can just Houlihan and get down there, because it would pop her back out at Link's house anyway.
Yeah. Well, anyway, to finish up the early pyramid fairy, so when we get down there and we place our mirror port on a very specific spot, you walk into it and you hold up and you get magically put into pyramid fairy, no problem. There's nothing there. We get a freebie.
We got a piece of heart, which undid all of that damage that Malmo took on the mountain there.
Calculated.
I guess Chex doesn't remember how to go up to Thieves Town from the dig game area there. Doesn't have the mitts, so can't just go up there the normal way, so he's gonna go up Death Mountain and clip back down just to get to the other side. To the north side of the Village of Outcasts.
I'm surprised he didn't, unless he's planning on going somewhere else.
Is he doing a Pyramid Fairy check here?
I wonder if he's going for... No, he wouldn't. He should... Unless he's making a TR... Oh, a Spike Cave. Okay. I wonder if this is still a rodless TR play, maybe.
I honestly don't like that in terms of just things that you can do, because he still has Skull Woods and Thieves Town to do.
Yeah. I don't think that's enough hearts, Chex. You know, that's not enough hearts to get out.
He's got potions. He's fine.
Yeah, I mean, gotta burn one here, but yeah.
He still has some spares. Alright, so Malmo did find the glove and escape, is now in go mode.
Okay, yeah, he'll do Pyramid Fairy now, yep. Position looked a little bit weird, but I trust he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, you can have the portal way further down than you think, because all that the cave requires to enter is that you're facing up while on the entrance area, and you can position yourself in such a way that you can be much lower than normal and still reach it.
Oh yeah, King's Tomb. So there's a cool little thing you can do where when you land upon that rock and do a specific little series of inputs, the game says, "Oh, you're standing on a bush. I'll let you lift that if you want," and you just lift it up.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, you can lift that dark rock without having a glove at all.
Yep, no glove needed. It just like the game's just like, "Oh, that's a bush. You can lift it. It's cool." Malmo is doing the wrap into Ice Palace, and she, we were paying attention to what Chex is doing, but yeah, Malmo did find her glove, so she is, as far as, I believe that's just straight up go mode at this point, and she is doing a cool little clip into the, I like watching that clip.
Yeah, that is
ice lobby.
One of the few things that is allowed for HMG that is not allowed in overworld glitches. but does let us get through parts of Ice Palace much faster than normal, especially when you don't need to check any of the chests anymore. Still going to check for a couple of things, like a last sword upgrade.
Yep, we know she's going to find her third sword in the GT climb at least, so she'll be okay there, but she won't be getting it until then.
Right, because the last one is over in Eastern.
Yep, as far as she knows, she can basically do as many checks as she wants here because she's still looking for a third sword ideally. So she'll probably just take the quick ones and more or less kind of speed through the dungeon. And Chex is on his way back to take care of Skull Woods.
Yeah, needed to do that little go around to get some magic off the tree there. He does need a little bit of magic to open up the rear side of Skull. But is still on that ice rod hunt, so he wants to make sure he can clear everything he can.
Yeah, at least now he's close. I mean, he after Skull Woods, Thieves Town is a crystal dungeon, so it's not like he's gonna really put that off for any longer. So he'll be there relatively soon. And Malmo will drop down into Cold Stare. No Bombo, so she'll have to spend all of her magic meter to initiate the boss fight.
He does still have that blue potion, but I guess he's going to opt for hammer strats here. Getting a little bit dicey over there.
Yeah, Cold Stare is just one of those fights. Just if you can put him in the corner and kill him, great. If not, the fight just it gets so random and chaotic. It's there's a lot of potential to just take a lot of damage here. Cold Stare does not take damage from bees. No, sorry to say.
Alright, gets through the fight just fine, still alive. Check's getting a lot of damage negated on the spikes, but finally kills Moth there.
Yep, Moth is sometimes a jerk and just hangs out on the spikes all day, and then you kind of just gotta try your best to convince it to get off the spikes.
Yeah, the boss is not Mothula, the boss is the room.
It is. Moth, any other boss room is just a piece of cake. Some other bosses in Moth's room are absolutely terrible.
Yeah, correct. B only damages Mothula. B just ignores other bosses, except for the floating blind heads. It chases after those and can knock them off screen, which can make the fight easier.
Oh yeah, it is very entertaining to see what a bee will do to the blind heads. And welcome to our raiders from SpeedGaming 5. We are relatively late in a hybrid major glitches qualifier race here. We've got Chexhuman and Malmo on our restream screens, and a grand total of 9 players in the qualifier race itself. Chex has given us a look at pedestal. It's nothing.
Yeah, and Malmo has decided to go back into GT. We'll finish clearing this off. Will she do tile room first? Nope, she's going to go straight for the compass room.
And we know she's making the correct decision here. So a quick explanation of what's going on, because I've already seen a question in chat of what did Malmo just do. We will call that a GT clip. So HMG, which is for hybrid major glitches, combines overworld glitches, which utilizes a number of clips and teleports and whatnot for enhancing our ways to get around the overworld, as well as a select number of underworld clips to allow us to move between certain dungeons in a logical format. It is the format for a tournament that is coming up in not too long, and this is the 4th qualifier race out of 12. And right now we've got Chex looking for an ice rod, and we know where it is. It's in Thieves Town. He's probably headed there next because he's got to clear it out anyway. And Malmo in go mode is on her way now up the GT climb.
Yeah, and she has all her crystals, so once she's done with Aga 2 here, she'll just be able to go right into Ganon.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, GT not always the last dungeon, tends not to be an OWG, but with how she routed this seed and ended up finding her items, it worked out that it's her last dungeon. So you still have that convenience of getting dropped straight on the pyramid after Aga 2, so it works out.
Yeah, Chex will have to find some other way of getting there after a Turtle Rock, which might be a bit of a bother. Yeah, he's already cleared GT, has killed Aga 2, been through the top of the tower. Just needs to finish clearing up the rest of his crystal dungeons before he can go fight Ganon.
Yeah, we don't have an indicator on the tracker for having cleared Aga 2, but yes, Chex has completed. He's cleared out the entirety of a GT. He's got all 31 checks. No, 27.
Yeah, it's 27.
I was thinking
31.
I was thinking 31 because of key drop shuffle, but yeah.
Aha.
I've been playing a lot of key drop shuffle and multis lately.
Well, there's our ice rod. Chex finally has it and can now clear out this dungeon without needing to check anything else. And then he should be able to just go straight to Mire, or not Mire, Turtle Rock, find the big key, kill Trinex, and somehow get to Ganon.
Yep, this could be relatively close. I think so. What Chex is likely to do is clear GT or TR in reverse, which means he will have to basically clear the whole dungeon because the big key I think was on the top, one of the top 3 checks.
Short hop on that third worm for Malmo's Landmo 2 is a little bit of annoying, and a second short hop.
Another one. Ugh. There you go. Yes, Anti-Sim. He definitely can clip into Laser Bridge, and that's what he will likely do. It's very typical in overworld glitches to do TR completely in reverse, very similar to how you see it done in like inverted or entrance modes. But it's not logical. The logic expects you to have access to the middle entrances, but not Laser Bridge. So as far as where the big key can be, it is exactly the same as NMG. And the farthest down the dungeon it can be is Lava Chest. Chex has picked up the Maiden, and it again is in go mode, so he is on a warpath to clear the dungeon as fast as possible. Malmo's in her climb. She had better check these chests. Please check the chest, Malmo. Thank you. Get your sword. Good. All right, now she's like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, Tempered is enough. Tempered and Gold Sword Ganon are pretty similar. They don't really save much time over the other. It's just, can you execute the Tempered fight well enough?
Chex almost a perfect blind script fight. I think missed actually just the last hit on script, and Malmo got bopped off the ledge by the mold worm, as it does. That gives Chex 6 crystals. He will just need to get back up the mountain and clear out TR as fast as he can. I see more questions in chat just to answer those. Yes, so there are mirror wraps like a Laser Bridge mirror wrap and Ice Palace mirror wrap that are not logical. They tend to be preferred because like Ice Palace flipper wrap is slower, and honestly I think it's less fun to do. I like the mirror wrap, but yes, of course it is more dangerous because there's a lot of hard lock potential on it compared to the flipper wrap. You can still hard lock the flipper wrap, but it's less dangerous, like just kind of objectively.
I'm not entirely sure about that. If you screw up the flipper up and you don't know you've screwed it up, it's certainly it's much easier to hard lock it there.
Yeah, I guess there's potential. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if you know what you're doing and do the inputs right, then mirror rep is just kind of inherently more dangerous because you still have to push yourself like a few pixels away from a hard lock transition.
True. Although you can mitigate that somewhat by being able to transition a little lower and then just tapping down after the transition to kick yourself up. So.
True. If you do it close enough, you can just pop yourself out of the collision. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Malmo has cleared Aga 2, and having that being her last dungeon, she will drop into the Ganon fight. Here we go. With Tempered and Silvers, this should not be a difficult fight. I believe she also still has a blue potion in the pocket, should she need it. Gets the Trident spin, looking good for the 1-1. And she's got it.
Oh, hooked the torch. Probably didn't want to do that.
not ideal for the 1-1, no. I wasn't counting hits. She might still have it.
Oh,
Nope,
no.
She's not by 1 or 2. We'll take a 1-2 then.
Chex decided to use that blue potion here, so he will not be able to use that as a method of getting to Ganon later.
I mean, with Flute Hammer gloves, though, I think he can just flute to 5 and run to the pyramid. Not really an issue.
Yeah, and I guess he would have to mirror off of the Turtle Rock nose anyway. Okay, here we go, entering Phase 4 of Ganon on Malmo's side. Just a few more silver arrows left.
Should be an easy double here. 1 more to go. And that'll do it.
Okay.
Get your GGs in chat from Malmo. We'll get you an official race time in just a moment here, assuming she makes it across the Bridge of Perils.
She's far enough away that it should be there for her.
And that'll do it. Malmo will cross the finish line with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 37 seconds, which will put her in second place in this qualifier. The first place under goes to Purity Wong with a 121.35, finishing just 4 minutes ago.
Where is that other glove? I want to know.
Where is that?
It's got to be Palace of Darkness. There's almost nothing else it could be.
Yeah, because like we've seen pretty much everything. Like every other dungeon's been cleaned out except for Pod. And we are joined in the commentary booth by Malmo. GG's, good, congratulations on your second place.
Oh, thank you. That was a fun seed, man.
Yeah, it didn't really get to show off a whole lot of the underworld clips, but it was a nice, fun seed.
I did 3 out of 4 of them.
You got 3 out of 4, sure, yeah, okay.
3 out of 4 ain't bad, right?
So, where do you think the other glove is?
I think it was in Thieves Town Big Chest. I think it was vanilla.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Thieves Big, you're right. It could be if it's a vanilla mitt, I love it.
Oh, you don't know where it is. I thought Chex got it. Because you could easily get that chest if you went north from, a super jump or something.
No, so Chex is in Ice Rod Go mode. And he did castle
What are you talking about? Ice Rod is in Thieves Town.
Yeah.
It was right there.
Yeah, but he's in Ice Rod Go mode, so he got Ice Rod, and then he's like, oh, well, why would he check anything else? So we didn't get the big chest from him.
So he's in Go mode then. That's good.
Yes, he's taking care of Trinex right now, and then he'll be heading to Ganon.
Yeah,
so
he's already cleared out GT climb, so he's just got to figure out how to get over there.
Yeah, at least he has tempered. Unless he missed the hobo sword, which I can imagine being a problem for some people.
Actually,
no,
yes.
he found a fourth sword, one in Eastern.
Oh, Eastern. Well,
yep.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that means he did Eastern.
Yeah.
Eastern and Pod were just a big old jib bait, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
I mean, there could have been a glove there, but.
Yeah, we're thinking the other glove is probably in Pendant Pod because neither of you touched it at all. There's 5 items sitting there. It's entirely possible.
Mm-hmm. So, did you like my opening route? You don't remember my opening route. Nobody
Remind
does.
me what you
Well,
did.
I don't even remember what I did. It was wild, though. I at some point, I went from the mountain to the witch, and then got the flippers, and then swam to that south shore.
Yeah, that mushroom was extremely convenient because you could just do just drop right down to it and get that checked in short order.
And then I orphaned Zora because I had 450 rupees because I left 50 rupees in the Lost Woods.
Yeah.
But it worked out because it got me to go to Catfish when I got the mirror. I said, okay, I can do Zora now. And I got the cane.
Yeah, the Samaria was a good pick up there, despite being a little bit late to it compared to Chex. But it's still, I mean, had to go back at the GT, of course, for another climb, but it worked out well.
And then there's the whole yakety sax of me trying to get into Swamp.
Yeah,
I loved your moment with the key. You opened the front chest and saw the key, and you're just like, hey, you had that little moment of, why is that there?
Why is that there? And I only opened it from Meyer because Hera big key, or Hera's small key had an item locked behind it, so I didn't want to have to think about it. I just said, I'm just going to go to Meyer, get the items inside, and do that little thing where you go underground to do a hype cave instead of overground.
Yeah, that was an interesting little thing there.
Yeah, it's a little awkward with regards to Stumpy, but it's a fun route you can do in this mode.
I did like your trip to Hype Cave. It was really cool.
Oh, yeah, if that glove hadn't been the escape, this would have been a very different game.
Oh, yeah.
Bleeby in chat says Flip got a glove in Pod Dark Base bottom. Yep, it was in Pod.
Well, that's fine, because I was going to go there next anyway. I just didn't want to do Pod and then be like, well, now I have to do Eastern, and all that time I spent not going there is just lost.
Yeah, because at that point you're just kind of like, you're going to go for Castle first. You've got like 10 items there, and then after that, if it's not there, you're like, well, I guess it's Pod Eastern time.
These finishes are coming in hot.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, yeah.
So in the meantime, we've had Aussie 101 finish with a 128.27, Crumble with a 130 even, and 1 second later, 31 seconds later.
The difference.
Yep, I can't read apparently, but we've got our GGs in Chexhuman GG taking out the Ganon in short order. He will finish with an official race time at GG time of 1 hour 30 minutes 31 seconds. And we'll probably get him here in just a moment.
And we are joined by Chex. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, GG's. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. One thing I wanted to ask you, why'd you put off Thieves Town so late? That's a little weird for you, I think, that Thieves Town was just as late as it was.
It was just the boring solution to the seed. I could have done it after Hype Cave, but instead I went to Hype Ice Palace. That was pretty early on.
Yeah, I was also surprised when you were going through the dig game and the Mire area, working your way up, that you, I guess, didn't remember how to go from that area up into Thieves Town.
I just wanted the overworld to be the answer because I thought that would be more interesting.
Right, with the Spike Cave check that you did right after that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really wasn't a bad seed. It's just kind of, I mean, a little unfortunate that it turned into an ice rod hunt for you. But at least it was kind of like in the path. It was in a crystal dungeon. It was just a matter of, we knew you'd get there eventually because it's not like you had to go out of your way for it. So.
That's true.
Yeah, the big thing that stumped Malmo in this seed was the glove location being an escape. And then, of course, the other one being over in Pendant Pod, as we found out later on.
Yeah, we're told that Flip Heel found the other glove in Pod Dark Maze, so that's where that was.
Yeah, I had crystals to do. I can't.
Yeah, like you're never going to Pennant Pod in this one. Like unless you're like, I don't know, unless you make like a race call that you're thinking, man, I need to check Pennant Pod at like somewhere around like 35 minutes or so. I don't know, it's just some kind of crazy play for it. But I think reasonably, you're never going there. Yeah.
If my go mode wasn't a progressive item, I might have gone there. But
yeah,
I kind of played this algorithmically. A, B, C, D, and then density.
Yeah. It's a very sound philosophy. There's nothing wrong with it.
And then I skipped a lot of things in dungeons once I found out I was in Glove Go mode. I left basically one item in every dungeon. There was one in Mimic Cave, Thieves Town Big Chest, Left Side Swamp had one.
Oh yeah, I missed that you skip Mimic Cave. Yeah, I mean when you're doing TR in that fashion, it's not surprising to skip Mimic Cave. But yeah,
I would have gone if there was an item in the big chest, but there wasn't.
That is entirely reasonable.
Oh, I left an item in Hera, but so who doesn't? It's HMG.
Crumble in chat. The other one wasn't even Pendant Pod. Yeah, what nerd rolled this? Who rolled this seed? Let's see.
It was
Crowball. You got some explaining to do.
It's a good seed. Look at
was
all the
fine
people
seed.
finishing close to each other. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, like the finish times honestly are fairly well clustered. I mean, Purity 1 took a nice 121.35 out front, but then everyone else kind of after that has been kind of like within like 3 minutes of each other.
See, if you route like me and play like Purity 1, you get a time like that. Because I, definitely fell apart a little at the end. But I could have gotten a better time with my route.
Yeah, not too bad, honestly. I mean, still got second place. Nothing to scoff at.
Take a drink every time I save and quit to the wrong place.
I'm too guilty of that myself. Don't worry.
Another
Go ahead.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, Malmo. When you were going off of Death Mountain for the Pyramid Ferry, were you trying to death warp the purse there, and then realize that Houlihan would take you to Hilling's house anyway, or something?
No,
like
I was trying to do King's Tomb, and I wanted to death warp on pots in there.
Okay.
And then I got the funny auto walk thing back to me because I forgot to set my subpixel, and I was like, I can still go there.
Yeah, I was wondering what was happening there. I just couldn't quite figure it out.
So the Julian was a backup. Okay, got it. I missed the King's Tomb. I was like,
yeah.
What is Malmo doing here?
Well, if I was going to go there and not do King's Tomb, I would have just DMD'd on the other side and then walked through West Side Breeze.
Sure.
Which is like the slow version of what you do in the speedrun for Silver Arrows. Because in the speedrun, you do that with the screen wrap camera, but then you don't want a screen wrap camera for rando.
Yeah, there actually was a convenient flute. Chex ended up getting it very early with his desert route because it was on Desert Ledge.
Desert Ledge is rude. You're not going to go back to CAC with that.
I mean, if you do it early enough, you do.
Only Chex does that route. Everybody else does CAC into desert.
I would have done that route. I mean,
done
Desert Ledge. Why not? I mean,
Desert Ledge and then clip back up, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you end up back in CAC at some point. Why not?
I think if I hadn't found Bombos, or if I hadn't found the book and had to go to Bombos Tablet, I might have walked there from the shovel. But then I had to clip down to Bombos Tablet, and I wasn't anywhere near CAC at the end of that route.
Yeah, there was the shovel too. Yeah, which led to a bomb pack of all things. Yeah, not a bad seed though. All overall, honestly.
Yeah, not bad for my first qualifier.
Oh, that was your first one. Okay.
Yeah, because every other one I've been like either doing comms for or just not around.
Do you want to talk a quick little bit about what the qualifier format and what people want to do if they're interested?
Yes, and I do want to, kind of get the word out there that if you've already done your 3 qualifiers and you want to lock in your score, you could just DM one of the admins, and then you can race without having any penalty or benefit. And basically what we want to do is we want to encourage as many people to race for fun as possible to keep these populated, because we're getting like 10 people per race about, which is really good, and we want to keep that up. So if you've done your 3 and you're happy with your score, where you drop your best and worst, then you can lock them in. But otherwise, we are basically just doing these 2 seed brackets. And then during brackets, we'll actually do 1v1 best of 3s.
Yeah, because you're not eliminating anyone with these qualifiers, right?
Nah. The qualifiers are just a big old excuse to have big races.
It's just to have fun group races.
They're
and
fun. We've already gotten one person who joined them for fun and then ended up, oops, I'm in the tournament now.
There you go. That's how it works.
Called marketing.
All right. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap things up here. If you two have any final thoughts about this seed or how you played or going forward in general with the tournament?
Nope. Just good luck to everybody for the remainder of qualifiers.
Yeah, thanks to Malmo for putting hybrid major glitches together.
And of course, thanks to SpeedGaming for hosting the restreams for it.
And to our crew for putting on comms and tracking for 3 out of 4 of the qualifiers so far, which is amazing.
Yeah, we've had really good coverage so far. Thanks, Choiso, for hanging out in the booth with me today. It's been a good, honestly, a blast commentating with you.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun, Adalor.
And thank you as well to our tracker professor, Fixie, keeping things accurate on screen for us. No doubt we will be lost with trying to remember who has what without our on-screen tracking. As far as more rando goes, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we will have our 5th qualifier is on the SpeedGaming schedule, currently assigned to SpeedGaming 2. So if you want to see more HMG qualifier action, be sure to come by for that.